Namaste, good evening, and welcome back to the last and final session of this 3-day workshop. My friend, again, I would like to start by thanking each and every one of you for your valuable participation, because without you, none of this would have happened, right? It just seems like yesterday that we started this workshop and now we're at the end of it. I hope that some value you have got out of this workshop. Your mind has expanded a little. You've got clarity about what you should be doing going ahead if in case you want to create a career in full stack web development. And today, let us end the session with a bang, right? So what is planned for today, if you ask me? As I told you, let's code a few more questions. Yesterday, we had coded all these different pattern programming kind of questions. Today, we are going to explore another type of problems, right? Which is present in these competitive coding websites such as HackerRank, HackerEarth, CodeChef, CodeForces. There are a number of such websites. But what I'm trying to say is that definitely I will not be able to solve all the questions because there is a certain technical concepts that you have to know. But few questions we will be taking today and we will be solving it, right? So if in case you are all ready, all of you are focused, then put a yes in the chat so that I know that I can start the session and there is no more problem and all of you are with me today as well, right? Great, wonderful. Let's start. First and foremost, before I can begin by coding any of the solutions for these problems, you must understand that we have selected Python as a language. Why we selected Python as a language? Not because Python has anything special to offer for us that Java or C cannot do. It is just that Python is a language which easily all of you in the audience today can understand, irrespective of whether you have any background in coding or not, because the syntax is such. Yesterday also we used Python. So today, to code our problems, you must know a little bit about the built-in data structures in Python. See, there are primarily 4 built-in data structures in Python. Something called as a list, something called as a tuple, something called as a set, and something called as a dictionary. These 4 things are there, right? And anyone who calls himself or herself as a Python developer must and should know these 4 data structures in depth. But I cannot be explaining about all 4 of them, but certainly I can definitely spend my time and energy explaining one of them called as a list, which I feel is the most used data structure in Python, a list, right? What is a list, you might ask, and how does it look? Let me directly code something and show you. So watch it. In my editor, my dear friends, if in case I just go there, if I just tell like this, maybe if I just tell 10, if I bring the cursor down first, right? Like this 10, I will tell. Now I want to store this value. If I want to store this value in Python, all I will do is I'll assign it to a variable by telling equal to a, maybe like this. Now the thing is, a is a variable which holds only a single value. In fact, I can prove it for you. I will just tell print a like this. Print a. If I print it, obviously 10 gets printed. And the beauty about Python is that you need not tell the data type. You need not put a semicolon because it's a dynamically typed language. Python's interpreter automatically decides that a should be an integer type variable. All that is something which is beyond the scope of today's discussion, but certainly watch it. If in case I go there and if I just execute this piece of code, you can notice if I put in the relevant command and if in case I press enter, then like this. Python space test.py is the name of that file. So if I press enter, then 10 got printed, definitely. But inside a, there is only one value, 10. But now the question is, I don't want to store only a single value inside a. I want to store a list of values inside a. To be precise, 5 values, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 5 values I want to store. Is that possible if you ask me? Definitely. How, if you ask me? Step number 1 is place all the values that you want to put inside a as comma separated values. Watch it like this. I will put comma, then I will tell 20, comma 30, comma 40, comma 50. Now, you have to inform Python that Python please store all these values as a list, as a single variable you store it. This is what you must be telling Python. How will we tell that if you ask me? It's very, very simple. All you have to do is enclose these 5 values within your brackets, square brackets. So watch it. Before 10, I will put an opening square bracket. After 50, I will be putting a closing square bracket like this. If in case I do this, automatically Python now knows that A should not be an integer. A is a list now. A is a list. Really, would it have stored it as a list, you might ask? 100% it would have. If in case I take you back to my execution window, and if I put in the relevant command and I press enter, then you can see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 I've got. It's a list of values. How awesome is that? That is the power of a dynamically typed language. Any confusion till this point of time? Next, what you might ask? So how to create a list is crystal clear for you guys. Now the next question is, can list only store integers? No, a list can store other types of values also. It can store floating point values. It can store character values. It can store string values. It can store complex numbers. In fact, it can store a mix and match of different types of data also. It can definitely store. Because right now, all the values inside this list A is of integer type, right? All of them are integers, but does not mean that you have to restrict it to only integers. You can mix and match data and store it. How, if you ask me? Watch it. That 20, I will make it as 20.5. Now that is not an integer. It has a decimal part also. It is a floating point value. Next, that 30, I'm going to remove it and I will replace it with my name in quotes. I will just tell Rohit like this. Next, this 40, I will replace it and I will put a Boolean value, maybe true, because there are two Boolean values, true or false. I'll tell true, right? Any confusion till this point of time? Now, all these are mixed type values. Heterogeneous data, it is called. Can you store that also? Definitely you can. Watch it. If in case I go back to my execution window and if in case I put in the relevant command and if I press enter, there you go. Definitely, it can store homogeneous values also. It can store heterogeneous values also. Any confusion till this point of time? Wonderful. Now, few more fundamental things about a list I want you to understand. Next thing I want you to understand is that when you have created a list, right, you put 5 elements into it. Now, let us assume you want to modify this list. Now, what do you mean by modification? Modification can happen in 3 ways. The first way is you should be able to add an element to the existing elements. You should be able to add an element, or you should be able to delete an element, or you should be able to replace an existing element with another value. If these 3 operations are possible, we call such a data structure as a mutable data structure. Mutation in English means change. Something which can be mutated or changed is called as a mutable data structure, and definitely list is mutable. Now let me not show you all the different operations. Let me show you one operation where I can add an element to my list. Now how can we add an element to the list? And in fact, I don't want to add it in any random position. I want to add it at the end. In fact, there is a word for adding something to the end. It's called as append. Append means what? Adding something to the end without modifying the existing elements. That is the meaning of append. In fact, those of you who have habits of taking notes, in fact, when you go to college classes, you take notes, isn't it? At least hopefully you are taking notes. When you go and you're taking notes, what do? First day you wrote notes, second day you wrote notes, third day you wrote notes. Now the 4th day when you go, will you go and erase whatever you wrote in the first 3 days and take down the 4th day notes? Or where you ended the 3rd day's notes, you will continue with the 4th day. That is called as append. You're doing append operation. Same thing I want to do here as well. Now, how are we going to do that is the question. It's very, very easy. I will just go there and after print A, listen and look at the syntax. Very simple. Which is the list you want to append to? What is the name of that list? A. Tell that. A, I will tell. Now, to append, shouldn't you go inside it? How to go inside it, you might tell. I'll tell dot. The moment you tell dot, Python knows you want to enter this list called as A. What did you want to do? Append. Tell that. Append. Great. Now, don't you think you should also tell what you want to append? How to tell that? Put parenthesis. And inside that parenthesis, tell what you want to append. Maybe I want to append a value called as 99. I'll just tell 99. Now to prove to you that append is happened, I'm just going to reprint A again after this. I'll just reprint it. Any confusion? So now before appending, after appending. Let's see whether this works. If in case I go back to my execution window and I put in the relevant command and I press enter, clearly you can see the second time I printed my list A, 99 has got printed. Any confusion till this point of time? Sleeping, awake, are you listening to me? Put a yes in the chat if in case you understood till this point of time and you want me to continue, or you have any problems. Clear? Crystal clear? Very good, very good. Fine. Now let's proceed. So fundamentally, I taught you two things. You can store a list of values in Python using a data structure called as list. It can store values of the same type. It can store values of mixed type, homogeneous, heterogeneous. It is mutable in nature. You can modify it. You can add elements. You can delete elements. Any confusion till this point of time? Now, next what you might ask. Next, what I wanted to show you is when I tell print A, right? When I'm trying to print my list A, automatically all the elements get displayed for me. But I don't want to access all the elements at the same time. I want to access one by one. I want to access one by one. How are we going to do that? You might ask. It's very simple. You can directly apply a for loop on a list, and the loop will ensure that it will pick elements one by one, one by one, one by one. Really, how, you might ask? See, there are two ways, okay? First and foremost, the way list in Python is designed is every single element has also been provided a positional value. This is the first element that has been given a positional value. Second element, third element, fourth element, fifth element. But the positional value, which we technically call as index in programming, always and always begins from 0. It always begins from 0, which means the position of 10 is 0. The position of 20.5 is 1. Position of Rohit is 3. This is, this is 2. This is 3. This is 4. 0 to 4. 5 elements are there. In fact, using the index, you can access the individual elements present within a list. How, if you ask me? Simple. Let me just remove these, or let me go to the last line. Let this append operation be there. Remove that second print. I don't want that. I'll remove that second print. Now, what I will do is, I'll tell print. This time, what I want to print is, first I will tell which list, A. I will tell A. See, I've told A. Next, I don't want all the elements in A. I want the first element. So I should tell its positional value. How to tell its positional values? You must use an operator called as index of operator. And what does the index of operator look like? Same thing, square brackets you should put. See, square brackets I'll put. Take the cursor out. If I put square brackets, what this means is that A, in the list A, give me the element present at this index you're telling. Now, you didn't tell any index. Let's tell that index. And what is the index of 10? 0. So I will tell 0. If I do this, 100% it works. So if in case I go back, right? And if in case I put in the relevant command and I press enter, then as you can see, 10 is accessed. So individually you can access like this. Now the question is, individually one by one, I want to access the elements of a list. Now there are two approaches. The first approach is like this. You can tell A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, A of 4, like that you can tell. But if there were 5 elements, 5 times you should write print statement. If there were 500 elements, meaningless for us to sit and write 500 statements. So is there a more efficient way to do it? Always. And that is by making use of a loop. How to use the loop? Let me show you. I'll just remove that print A of 0. I'll press enter, leave one line. And what I'm going to do now is, first of all, I want my loop to have the index positions, which means I want my loop to have 0, to have 1, to have 2, to have 3, to have 4, like this. I want my loop to have these positions. How can I do that? Simple. You want a range of values, isn't it? From 0 till 4 you want. How do you generate a range of values in Python? If you've been focusing yesterday, all of you know there is a function for it, and that function is nothing but range. So watch it. I will just tell range like this. And range should begin from 0. So I'll tell 0. It should go all the way, not till 5, 4. It should go all the way till 4. But if I tell 4, it will stop at 3. Why? Because it is exclusive. So I'll tell 1 always extra by telling 5. 0 to 5 means 0 to 4 I will get. To this, I'll attach a loop by telling for. A looping variable I'll use, which is I. I will attach both of them by telling in. If I do this, you know how it works. From range, first element 0 will come. 0 is given to I value will be 0. Now I'll put a colon. I'll come inside and I will tell in my list A, access index of operator, and there I will tell which index. Now this index I will not tell by telling 0 or 1 or 2. What will you do? I will just in general tell whatever is the value of I, that value. I like this. If first time I has 0, A of 0. Second time I has 1, A of 1. A of 2, A of 3, A of 4. Anyways, after that range will stop generating values. Whatever is a value, I will print it. So I will put it inside. This is one way. Let us see if this works. If I go back to my code, then you can clearly notice that if in case I go here, put in the relevant command and I press enter, then like this you have got the values. Any confusion till this point of time, right? One by one you have accessed. In fact, I can also print both the index and the value at the same time. How, if you ask me? Just watch it. It's very easy. I'll just go here and I'm just before that A of I will just go there inside, put a comma. And there, before that, I will tell I. So I'm telling print I value also, print A of I value also. Now let us see what will come. Very simple. I will be 0, A of I will be 10. I will be 1, that will be 20.5. I will be 2, that will be Rohit, so on and so forth. Will this work? Let's check it out. If in case I go back and I put in the relevant command and I press enter, as you can see, 0, 10, 1, 20.5, 2 Rohit, 3 true, 450. So it works. As a matter of fact, there is one more thing which I want to teach you before we dive deep into our programs, which is Python has made your life even more easier, my dear friends. How, if you ask me? Go back to the code. Python says, hey, listen friend, what do you want? You want to access all the elements present within the list one by one, isn't it? No need for you to first generate the index value, then give the index value to the index of operator and then access. I will directly give I element by element from the list. How, you might ask? Simple. See here, I'll remove this print statement. Instead of telling range of 0, 5, I'll remove that range also. And there I will directly tell, hey, for loop, one by one, access elements present within my list called as A. Just A I will tell. Directly A I will tell. Any confusion till this point of time? Now what will happen is, first time it will go into the list, take 10. 10 is given to I. So this time what does I have? I does not have the index. I has the value itself. Second time 20.5. Third time Rohit. Fourth time true. Fifth time 50. It will get. You want proof? Watch it. Directly I will print I like this. So easy. Small, lowercase. So easy. Just by writing these 2 lines of code, you can automatically access all the elements present within a list. If this was any other programming language, this loop would have expected you to give it the first index, right? Starting index, expected you to give a condition to check whether it has not reached the last index. It would have expected you to increment the index value step by step, either plus, plus or minus, minus. It is up to you. Look at the Pythonic code. So easy. Will this work? Let's go check it out. If in case I go back, I put in the relevant command and I press enter, there you go. Same thing you have been able to access. So now in all my programs, which I'm going to write now, the approach which I'm going to follow to access the elements within the list is whatever I just showed you, which is directly telling the for loop the name of the list. That's all. So I hope till this point of time, whatever I've spoken to you is clear. If it is clear and if all of you are ready to write the first program, put a yes in the chat so that I know all of us are on the same page and we can move forward. Great. Good. Now, let us move forward. Before we approach our hacker rank problem, right? I want to first write a simpler problem, a simpler code I want to write so that list, accessing the elements in the list, all this just to check whether it is crystal clear for you guys, one program I want to write. Now, which is that program, you might ask? Watch and understand carefully. Like this, assume this is a list which I have, in which I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. The name of this list I have given is LST. And these are those index positions, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. These are the index positions. Any confusion till this point of time? Now, my program has a simple expectation, guys. My program wants to calculate what is the total sum of all the elements in my list. I repeat, what is the total sum of all the elements in the list, which means 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40 plus 50 I want to add. Any confusion till this point of time? How are we going to write code for this? First and foremost, I want to calculate the sum. To calculate the sum and store it somewhere, I need a variable, isn't it? What I will do is, I'm going to create one variable called as sum. Initially, it will be 0 because some initial value I should give. All of us know that on a list, directly a for loop can be applied. And this for loop will directly take the elements, isn't it? So all I will do is, I'll run a loop on my list LST. I will take my first element. I will add it to whatever is the existing sum value. And that total sum, I will add it up. So 0 plus 10 is 10. That I will store it back inside sum. So sum is as of now 10. You are within a loop, which means this I will automatically move forward. Then whichever is the next element I will take, existing value of sum I will take, add it up, store it back inside sum. Now sum became 30. Same process you should repeat. Move I forward, take that I value, take existing sum value, add them up together, store that inside sum. Simple. Again move forward. Take the next I value, which is 40, add it to existing value, 40, 100 this is, store that inside sum. Move forward. Last value is 50. Take 50, take 100, add it, 150, store it. That's it. And you know, once the last element you reach, loop is also done. Looping is also done. So nothing extra is really going to happen. Any confusion? So ultimately you got the sum. Simple code, isn't it? Let's write this and check it out. Because this logic also somewhere going ahead we will be using it. But this has given you a good enough picture of how easy it is to do operations on Python. So let me write code for this. So watch it, all of you. Here, what I'm going to do is, I'll first remove these lines of code. I'll remove all of that. Fine. I want to create a list with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So first, list means square brackets. Inside square brackets like this, comma separated values, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Any confusion? Next, give a name for this. What is the name? LST. So I will tell equal to LST like this. Any confusion? Next, clearly in the pictorial representation, you can see that there is also one variable called as sum, correct? That's what I'm going to tell. Sum. And what is the initial value of sum? 0. So 0 I will tell. Good. Next, what you might ask. Next, I had to run a for loop on my list LST. So I'll press enter and there I will tell for I in. Tell me, should I tell range and all that nonsense or should I just tell LST? Directly I can tell LST. So I'll tell LST, colon I will put. I'll come inside. What I will do is, first time I will get the first value 10. 10 will be the value of I. So what I will do is, whatever is the sum value, I will tell sum. To that I will add whatever is I value, plus I will tell. And this added result is what I should update into sum. So I will tell, give that to sum. Assignment I will do. That's all. Any confusion till here? Once this loop gets over, sum should have your updated value. Really, you might ask, yes, I'll come outside the loop. I'll print my list. I will print the value inside sum. Both I will print. Will this work? Let's go check it out. If in case I go back to my execution window, and if in case I put in the relevant command and I press enter, you can notice like this, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 150 is the sum. It works like magic. Good. What else you might ask? Now, this logic is also crystal clear to all of you. Next, what are we going to do? You might ask. Now, let us write one unique program, shall we? Now, what is that program? You must be thinking. Let me first pictorially show you what this program's expectation is. So I'll just remove this code so that it does not, yeah. Now, which is this code, if you ask me? Understand. Let us assume like this, right? Like this. I have a list with, and look at the contents of this list. Look at the contents of this list. What this list has, if in case you're not able to see because some of you are looking at it from your phone screen, is I have URLs of websites. Google.com, Facebook.com, Netflix.com, Instagram.com, Google.com, Netflix.com. And I've given a name also for this list. What have I called it as? LST1, like this. Now, if in case you guys are actually focusing, then tell me one thing. Is this list containing elements which are unique, or are there duplicate elements in this list? Think and tell me, are the elements in this list unique or are there duplicates? Put your answer in the chat. Is it unique or duplicates? Obviously duplicates are there. And what is duplicate? Google.com is duplicate. See, because it came once, it came twice. Obviously Netflix is duplicate because it came once, it came twice. Agreed? So what to do, you might ask. What I want to do is, I want to create another list. And this list should have only the unique elements of my list 1. In other words, it should have removed the duplicates from list 1 and only what is unique should be there in list, the new list which I'm creating. How are we going to do this? Very, very simple. I'll be creating another list, a list which is initially empty, called as list2, LST2. You can give it any name you want. I'm calling it as list2. Okay. Now, what I want to do is, one by one, I want to take elements from list 1 and keep adding it to this list 2. But under one condition, which is it is unique. Duplicates I will not allow. How to do this, if you ask me? Very, very easy. I'm sure most of you already know the logic for it. All you have to do is check for a condition. What is a condition? I will go inside list 1. I will take an element, right? Before I store it inside list 2, I will check whether that element is not already present in list 2. If it is not already present, it means it is being put for the first time, or another way of saying it is unique. If it is unique, I will add. But if I check whether that element is not present in my list 2 and it is present, then it means it's a duplicate. I will not add it. As simple as that. Now, how are you going to write such a condition in Python? If you ask me, it's just the way you speak English. Anyways, how will you access elements one by one on this list? If you ask me, directly apply a for loop. And the condition which I will be checking is this. Look at that condition. If in case, if you're not able to see it, I'm reading it. If in case I, whatever is the value of I, is not in list 2. I repeat, if I is not in list 2, only then I will add it. Now let us apply this condition one by one and check. See, if I apply this condition on the first element, is it present? No, obviously it is not present. Condition will be true. If it is true, I will take whatever is that element and I will append it to list 2. Then all I will do is, anyways, loop will move forward. I will move forward, and before appending, I'm going to check the condition. Is it not present? Yes, it is not present. It is true because after all, it's the first time. Append it. Move forward. Check if it is not present. Obviously, it is not present. Condition will be true. Append it. Next, I will move forward. Again, I will check. Is it not present? Yes, it is not present. Condition is true. If it is true, append it. Next time, however, if I move forward and if I check if this element is not present here, I will get as false because you know google.com is already present. So watch it. If I move this and if I check if I is not present in LST, I will get answer as false. If it is false, I will not append. I will not append. As simple as that. Similarly, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to check the condition again. And this time the condition is obviously going to be false because Netflix is already present. If it is already present, I'm not going to append. And by doing so, my list 2 has only unique elements in it. But my program should not stop here. What my program should also do is, yes, I've got unique elements, But I want to arrange these URLs in a sorted order, in an alphabetical order. But as of now, is it sorted? Definitely not. It is not sorted. How are you going to sort it, Rohit, if you ask me? It's very, very easy. In Python, it is very easy. One function, if you call, it will sort. Now tell me, friends, if you're really listening, think and answer, which list should I sort? Should I sort list 1 or should I sort list 2? Which one should I sort? If you're really listening, just to check. List 2, correct answer. List 2 I should sort. So watch it. All I will tell Python is, hey Python, go inside lst2 by telling lst.to, and I will tell sort by calling a built-in function called as sort, like this. That's what I'm also just showing you. All I'm going to do is I will tell lst2.sort, like this. And the moment I do this, automatically Python is going to sort it for you. Now it's in the alphabetical order, F, G, I, and N. Any confusion? Now, whatever I have pictorially represented, it's time to convert it into code. So let us go to our editor, right? So watch and understand carefully. If I go to my editor, there, I'm just reducing the size so that we have space to code. First, let's create this list 1. So I will just press enter, come down so that there is space, come here. Yeah. Now, there I will create my list 1 by telling lst1. And there, directly, I'm just going to put these elements. Google, Facebook, Netflix, all these are there. Any confusion till this point in time? Of course, you're not able, yeah, I'll press enter. Anyways, all of these are there. Next, I need another list called as list 2. Initially, it should be empty. So what I will do is I'll come down. And again, one more thing. See, all these elements, I have put it within single quotes. Why single quotes? These are strings. In Python, a string can be within single, within double. In fact, it can also be within triple quotes also. Again, if I was teaching you strings in depth, I would have spoken about all of that. But anyways, this is a string. That much is clear to all of you. I want to create an initially empty list called as lst2. How will I do this? I'll just put open bracket, close bracket. That's all. If I tell open bracket, close bracket, it means it's an empty list. I'll give it a name, lst2. Next, what I'm going to do is I'll come below and I want to apply a for loop on this list 1. How are you going to do that? You might ask. I'll tell for I in which list, 1 or 2? Obviously 1, lst1 I will tell. Right? I'll put a colon. I'll come inside. Now inside what I should do is, whatever is there inside I should append it to list 2. But not mechanically, not without thinking, but by checking a condition, which is whatever I'm trying to append should not already be present in list 2. So first let's apply that condition. If in case I not in which list? lst2. That's all. I'll put colon. If this condition is satisfied, I will come inside. And inside what I'm going to do is I will tell lst2. Inside means dot. I'll go inside. And what I want to do is append. I will tell append. What to append within parentheses, I will tell. What to append is whatever is inside I. Like this. That's all. Now, once this loop executes, list 2 would have got populated with all unique elements, but it would have not got sorted. That you should explicitly say. So I'll come outside and I will tell, go inside lst2 by telling lst2 dot. And what should I do after going inside? Sort it by telling sort, like this. That's all. Now, really would it have got sorted? Will it be unique, you might ask? Let's print both the lists to clarify our confusion. So I will just go there, and below that I will tell print lst2, print lst1 and lst2. See, this is all, so many lines of code. Done. Will this work? Let's go check it out. If I put in the relevant command, and if in case I press enter, there you go. As you can clearly see, in the first list, Google appears twice, Netflix appears twice. But in the second list, there is no duplicates. Not only that, it is alphabetical, F, G, I, and N. Any confusion till this point of time? So it works, 100% it works. So I hope till here, things are clear to all of you. Now, let us not, because we have very, very limited and precious time, and I want to give you as much knowledge as possible, my dear friends. So, shall I proceed with the next program? Is it clear till here? If it is clear and you're not sleeping and all this is not flying over your head, please put one yes in the chat so that I know, yes, you guys are listening and you're understanding. Okay, good. Next, what is the program that we should be doing is the bigger question, right? Now let us not do all these programs. Let us go and take a program from HackerRank directly and do it. Now, which is this program, you might ask? Let me show you. This is the program which we are going to do. Now, initially when people read it, you might get overwhelmed, but don't get overwhelmed. You'll understand it. Let me read it out for you. So if I take you directly to the HackerRank website, there are different problems that you can have. So many problems are there, right? Obviously, I cannot be solving all these problems for you, but of course, in our actual full stack web development courses, we do almost 100 odd such problems on HackerRank. So that is secondary. But right now, with whatever time that I have remaining, what shall we do? Let us pick any one problem. Okay, maybe this birthday cake candles problem. We will select. What is this birthday cake candles? Okay, now I'm just reading it out for you. Increase the size a little bit so that it is visible to them also. Yeah. Now, what he's saying is, that is, okay, yeah, fine. You are in charge of the cake for a child's birthday. Assume you are not in charge. You have decided the cake will have one candle for each year of their total age, which means if the child is 6 years old, you will have 6 candles. They will only be able to blow out the tallest of the candles. So the assumption here is not all candles are of the same size. They're not of the same size. They're unequal in size. So when the child blows, he will only be blowing out the tallest of the candles. The shorter ones he will not blow out. What you have to tell is count how many candles are tallest. Okay. Then he's giving you an example. What he's saying is, I will give you a list of the heights of the candles. 4, 4, 1, 3. If the child blows, only the tallest of the candles should be blown out. And tell me which is the tallest candle in amongst all of this. What is the tallest height? 4. How many candles are there of size 4? 2. And that should be your output. See, you have to return 2. I hope it is clear. Then blah, 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 there is a function description and there is what it returns, what the input format should be. There are constraints. There is a sample input, sample output. There is an explanation. And if I come down, obviously there is an inbuilt editor where they have provided, where scroll down first. Yeah. There they have given a space for me to put a function also. Show that function. Yeah, this is the function, define birthday cake candles. Inside this, you should be putting the code. That is what you should be doing. Anyways, go back. Right. Now, watch it all of you. What I'm going to do now is, let me just write the solution for this. It's very, very easy. So if I go back, now, what you must be understanding is this. Watch it. This is the lady. These are the candles. Okay. If the lady blows like, okay, slowly you blow, madam. Okay, anyways. So if she blows like this, only the tallest candle should go off. That is what is the basic explanation, right? And you should count which are these tallest candles. Now, how are we going to do this? Very, very, very easy. If you understood, the solution must be already running at the back of your mind, right? Now focus, all of you. All I'm going to do now is, let us assume like this, I have a list, right? He will anyways give me a list. In that, he will give me the heights of the candles. I'm going to call this list as candles. Ultimately, first thing I should do is find out which is the tallest candle. And then I should find out how many such tallest candles are there, because only those will be blown out. And that is what I should return. And here tallest candle is 4 and 4 repeats 2 times. So output should be 2. Very straightforward question. How are we going to do this? You have all the knowledge to solve this. It's very easy. First, you want to find out which is the tallest candle, isn't it? How are you going to do that? If you ask me, very simple. I am going to create one variable and I will call it as max, assuming this max will have the tallest candle's value. Initially, I will tell max is 0. Now what I will do is, I will run a for loop, right? And then what I will do is, every value of I, first I will check if I is greater than the max value. If I is greater than the max value, then max should be that I value. So I will give that I value to max. If I have to visually show you, this is my condition. I greater than max. I will apply it on the first element. If I apply it on the first element, you know what is the answer? Is 4 greater than 0? Yes. Yes means true. If it is true, then whatever is that value of I, that is what I'm going to update as max. Any confusion? Now I'm within a loop. I will move forward. Tell me, is I greater than max in this case? 100% not, because it is in fact equal. So if it is equal, I'm not going to do anything about it. So this condition is obviously going to be false like this. If it is false, nothing I will do. I will move forward. Next, again, I will check. Is I greater than max? False. Nothing I will do. I will move forward. Is I greater than max? No. No means ultimately this is only my maximum value. And this logic will work for any combination of values, any length of values. If you are an old man like me, if you're 28 years old, then 28 candles you have put. All the 28 candles height they have given. Even then it works. Any confusion till this point of time? Now, you found out the value of the tallest candle. Now, that is not your output. Your output is how many such tall candles. That should be your output, isn't it? For that, what are we going to do? If you ask me, very, very easy. All you have to do is find out how many such max values are there. What is the count of 4s in your list? How will you do that? Very easy. All you have to do is once more run a loop. Run a loop once more from the starting. And all you have to do is, I'm going to create a variable called as count. Initially, it will be 0. Again, I will run a loop from start. And then I will check if in case I value, is it equal to the max value? Like this, I will apply a condition. If that condition is satisfied, then I know, yes, 1, 4 I've encountered. If this condition is true, I know 1, 4 I've encountered, and hence I'm going to go to count, increase its value by 1. Then I will move forward. Again, I will check, is I value equal to max value? Yes. Yes means again I've encountered 4. I'm going to increase the value of count. Similarly, if I move forward, next time it is false, I will not increment. I will move forward. Next time it is false, I will not increment. That's it. So how many values? 2 values. This is what he also wanted. And this is what you should be displaying to the user. But of course, in HackerRank, they're expecting you to put it inside a function and return it as output. However, logic should work. So if I go back to my code, watch it, all of you. Here, I'm going to go and I'm going to put, I'm going to start writing my code. So go to the editor. In the editor, I'm now going to first create this, bring the cursor on top. Yeah, I'll create this list called as candles. Inside that, I will put these values, 4, 4, 1, 3. Great. Next, I want a value called as max and I want a value called as count. Both are initially 0. So I will tell max equal to 0, count equal to 0. Next line you do it. Any confusion till here? There also, leave space. Now, next what I'm going to do is, I'll run a for loop on my candles list. So I'll tell for I in candles. Colon I will put. Next, what was my intention of running the first for loop was to find which is the maximum value. How did I do that? By applying a condition, if in case I value is greater than my assumed max value, which as of now is 0. Max double equal to 0. I mean, if I is greater than max, that's it. Yeah. Colon I will put. I will come inside. If this condition is true, that I value is greater than max value, so that should be max. So what I will do is, whatever is I value, I will assign it to max. Any confusion till this point of time? Next, what you might ask. Now, once I come out of this loop, I would have got max. Now I need to know how many max values are there. Count I need. One more loop I will put. For I in candles, colon I will put. I will come down. Now what I'm going to do is check for this condition. If in case I is equal to max, if I is equal to max, then I will come inside and I will increment the value of count by 1. Unfortunately, there's no plus plus minus minus. So I will tell count equal to count plus 1 like this. What this means is take existing value of count, add 1 to it, update that as the new value. That is what it means. Now I will come out of this loop also. If I come out of this loop, then obviously I would have got my count. In fact, I'll print both the max as well as the count just to show you that it works as per expectation. Cool. Does this work? Let's go check it out. If in case I go back to my execution window and I put in the relevant command, and if in case I press enter, you can notice like this 4 and 2, and that was the output as well. In fact, just to prove to you that the solution will work, I want to go put this solution into the HackerRanks editor and show you it works. But few small changes you have to do. What is the changes I'll tell you, but go back to the code. Go back to the code. In the code, what I will do is all this except for this printing part, this entire piece of code I will copy. I'll copy that. I will go to the browser. In my browser, I will come down, reduce the size a little bit. Yeah, sufficient. Come down. If I come down, now I'll go into my editor. There you can see, scroll it easily, slowly. Yeah. If I come down, yeah, to the editor, watch it. There is a function called as birthday candles. Inside this function, I should paste my logic. So I'll just paste it there. But this will not work as it is. First of all, I will indent everything correctly. Because in Python, indentation is very, very important. Okay. Great. Now, what should we change here, you might ask? Understand. Don't keep scrolling it. Position it correctly. Yeah. Now understand it, all of you. Here, one thing you must understand is this is a function in Python. And what HackerRank is saying is, listen, this list called as candles, you don't write it. I will pass it as input for you. You assume that I have given you a list called as candles and then you work, which means I will remove this candles list. I will remove it because anyways, he's going to give me a list called as candles. Obviously, max, count, all that I require. I need to work on this candles. But once I come down after the last for loop, this count value, I should not print it. This function is expected to return it. It is expected to give it back as output. Now, those of you, if you don't know what returning a function means, I'm so sorry, my dear friend. Right now is not the time for me to dive deep. Again, if your fundamentals of coding is weak, if your foundation is weak, then consider, taking help, having a structured course which will help you build logic step by step, because it doesn't matter where you start. The important thing is you start and you dedicatedly work, and you'll notice 5-6 months of dedication can completely change the way you approach coding, right? Anyways, there I will press enter and then I'll come outside the for loop, but I'm still inside the function only. There I will just tell return. What to return? Whatever is the value of count, like this. Any confusion? Now, let us run this code and see. Let's not submit it. Let us run this code and check whether it works. If I run the code, then it is processing it, okay? And then it is telling sample test case 0. Yes, it has passed it. It works correctly, right? See, you can see that green color tick mark there. It's saying it has passed. Now let's submit the code. If we submit the code, variety of values HackerRank will pass and check whether your code can work for all types of values. So I'll just go press submit code. If I click on submit code, test case 0, okay, all test cases have passed. Any confusion to this point of time? Congratulations, next challenge and all. Sorry, I had enough challenges in life. Right now, I'm not going to challenge more, but this much is enough. Any confusion till here? Great. Now, did this problem give you clarity or did it give you confusion? If you got clarity, say yes. Confusion means say no. Yes? Good. Very good. So, see, anything in life can be approached in two ways. One is thinking that, oh, this is such a task, I have to do it. Should I do it? Why should I do it? Another thing is you can make it exciting for yourself, right? Now, did I not make this problem exciting for you? But it was just another hacker rank problem. It is just the way you approach things in life which makes a huge difference, right? So approach is very important. In fact, approach is the most important thing in life. If you have the right approach towards learning, towards understanding, towards looking at failure as a stepping stone to success, 100% you will see that whatever you aim for, one way or the other will happen. Nobody can stop it from happening, right? But never ever make the mistake of comparing yourself with another person, my friend. Never do that. Now, if you open this problem and your friend opens the problem, maybe you would have taken 15 minutes to come up with a solution. Your friend could have done it in 5 minutes, right? Maybe your friend in the first attempt passed all the test cases, but you could pass only 2 or 3 test cases. Does that mean you should feel bad? You should feel sad? You should feel demotivated, depressed? No, because you must understand every human being's journey is different. Your friend is on his or her journey. You are on your journey. All you can do and should do in life is try to be the best version of yourself, not what you think someone else is. You try to be the best version of yourself. That is what you have to do, right? So don't compare. You focus on your work. Every day you see whether am I improving a little bit or not. That is all you have to think. Someone else is improving, not improving, going somewhere, doesn't. How does it matter? It's you and your experience of life which matters, right? But keep that in mind and practice, and you will see automatically things will fall into place. Okay, fine. Let us do one more question. Or are you guys bored? Or should I stop here? I don't know, because usually coding means people get very scared. Shall I do one more question? Yes? Okay. Okay. Please continue. Okay, fine. Let's continue then. Now you asked, then later don't feel bad. Okay, I'm continuing now. Now let's go to the next problem. Now, what is the next problem? If you ask me, let me show you. I'll go back to my HackerRank website. There, let us pick another problem, right? Go on top. I mean, go to the, go press backspace. Press back. Yeah. Now, out of these different problems, okay, no, you pressed too much. Yeah. If I come down, okay, scroll down. Okay. Let us take this problem. Usually, there are only two types of people who solve this problem, min, max, sum. One type of people are people who will give a very efficient solution. Another type is somebody who will sit, scratch their head and try to come up with the most complicated solution there is, right? Now, let us see which category you fall under. So let me explain this. Let us read it first. So increase the size a little bit. Given 5 positive integers, find the minimum and maximum values that can be calculated by summing exactly 4 of the 5 integers. Again, what he's saying is, like this, 5 integers is given to you. 5 integers is given. You should add any 4. You should add any 4, right? By adding any 4, which is the maximum value you can get, which is the minimum value you can get. Maybe you understood, maybe you did not understand. He has given you a very elaborate explanation. If I scroll down, you can see a lot of things he has given. You can go read all that. Let me visually show you what they are trying to explain. Here they have also given one explanation. Let me visually show you. If I take you back to my editor, then watch it, all of you. Here, what you must understand is, this is what he's saying. Like this, you have a list, right? 5 values are there. Now, ignore this 1000 and all that, because there is an address. Usually, every list will have an address, and when you tell LST, it is the address which is stored. Forget about that. It does not matter. What you must understand is, this is the problem. 5 integers are there, okay? You have to sum any 4. So let us assume I will ignore this 3. This 3 I will ignore. and I will sum the other 4. See, so 4215 I will sum. If I sum all of them together, what is the sum? This is the sum which you will be getting, 12, right? Like this, in different combinations, you keep summing 4 elements and try to find out which is the maximum sum you can get, which is the minimum sum you can get. That is what you should return as output. So similarly, watch it. I will ignore 5. I will ignore 5. Take the other 4 elements. Add them together. What is the sum you will be getting? The sum you will be getting is nothing but 10. Similarly, next I will ignore 1. I will take the other 4 elements. Add them together. You will get a sum. Which is the sum that you are going to get? If you add all them together, you will be getting 14. Similarly, I will ignore 2. I will take all those other 4 numbers. Add them together. What is the sum you are going to be getting? The sum you are going to be getting is 13, like this. Similarly, I will ignore 4, take all that other numbers, add them together. If I add them together, the sum you are going to be getting is 11. Now, look this side. Which is the maximum sum, friends? 14. Which is the minimum sum? 10. This is the min-max problem. This minimum value your function should be able to tell. This maximum value your function should be able to tell. So given a list of integers, if you sum 4 integers together, which is the min, which is the max? I hope you understood the problem. If you understood the problem, put a yes in the chat, because understanding the problem itself is a big headache, isn't it? Did you understand the problem? If yes, put yes in the chat. Problem is clear? Wonderful. Now that the problem is clear, what is the solution? What could be the approach towards such a problem? That is what we will have to think about. Okay. Now listen and listen carefully. The easiest solution to this problem I am trying to tell you, right? Now look at this, guys. Everywhere we have added 4 numbers together, right? So everywhere there is a missing number. Everywhere there is a missing number. Now, what are those missing numbers is what? So I'm just showing you that is min, and the other one is max. That is fine. Now, which is the minimum numbers or missing numbers, right? So here, which is the missing number? 3. Similarly, here, which is the missing number? Like that. Here it is 5, here it is 1, here it is 2, here it is 4. Now, this missing number, if you take the number which was missing, if you added that also to it, what will you get? Tell me. What you will get is nothing but the sum of all the elements in the list. That is what you are getting. If I add the missing number, you will get the sum of all the elements in the list. And what is the sum of all the elements? In this case, it is 50. Same is the case everywhere else also. If I add the missing number, then it doesn't matter in which order I add. It is nothing but sum of all the elements in the list. And sum of all the elements in the list is nothing but 50. Same is the case everywhere. If I add the missing number, it will give me the sum of all the elements in the list. If I add the missing number, I will get the sum of all the elements in my list. Similarly, in the last case also, if I add the missing number, I will get the sum of all the elements in my list. Now, you only see, right? You only see. Look, I want 10. I want this 10, which is the minimum value which you can get by summing 4 numbers together if a list is given to you, right? That is the total sum, right? This is the missing number. Tell me, what is the correlation between the total sum, the missing number, and this? What is it? Can you tell me? Tell me, what is this 5? Look at this list and tell me what is special about 5. Who can tell me what is special about 5? Look at this list and tell me what is special about 5. What kind of number is 5? Very good. I think you got the idea. 5 is the maximum value in the list. If you take your sum of all the elements, find which is the maximum value in your list. And if you subtract both, that is what is going to give you this 10. And that 10 is nothing but the maximum number or the minimum number which you can get by summing 4 elements together. Common sense. Similarly, look at this. You want 14, isn't it? This is the total sum. This is the missing number. What is special about 1? 1 is the minimum value in the list. Find the sum of the list. From that, subtract the minimum value, and what you're going to get is the maximum value by adding 4 numbers together. That's it. That is what I'm also just writing and showing you, which is this 5 is the maximum value, this 1 is nothing but the minimum value, these are nothing but the sum. So 15 minus 5 is 10 and 15 minus 1 is 14. This 15 is nothing but the sum of all the elements in my list. This 5 is nothing but the maximum value in my list. This 1 is nothing but the minimum value in my list. This is it. That is the solution. Any confusion till here? Now there are two ways to do this solution. One is you can use a built-in function in Python. If you just tell sum of LST, it will give you 50. If you tell max of LST, it will give you 5. If you tell min of LST, it will give you 1. So if the HR doesn't have a problem with you using built-in functions, use this. If the HR has a problem with you using built-in functions, you can always write code for this, because do you not know how to find the sum of elements in a list? We have done it in today's class only. Do you not know how to find the maximum element in the list? In the candles example, did we not find the maximum value? If you know how to find maximum, can't you find minimum value? Condition greater than, make it lesser than, you will find the minimum value. So you know all this. In fact, I want you to, as an assignment, go and try to write this code without using built-in functions. But since I've already shown all this to you, it means no sense for me to write it again. Let's just directly use built-in functions and get the logic, shall we? So watch it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my editor and write this logic and show you that it definitely works. So watch it. Here, I'll just go to my editor, and there on top, take the cursor on top. Yeah, I'll first create this list, LST equal to, and there it is, 42155, 42153. Yes, next I will come down, and very simple. I will just tell, give me the sum of my list by telling, I'll call a function called as sum. Sum of what? My list LST. Minus, I want to find the maximum number, which is nothing but max of LST. That's it. Whatever this will give me, I will directly print it by putting this within print. Any confusion? Similarly, I will just copy that line, paste it again. And here, sum is the same, but I want minimum value. For that, change the function to min. These are built-in functions. Will this work? Let's go check it out. So watch it. If in case I go back, and if in case I put in the relevant command and execute it, you can notice like this. If I press enter, 10 and 14, simple as that. So it's part logical thinking, part understanding of the language, part syntax. So just by knowing the features of a language, one cannot get a good job. Just by knowing the syntax of a language, a person can't get a good job. Just by having logical thinking, a person can't get a good software job. You should be able to think logically, convert that into code by using the features of the language. So logic, syntax, features, all three put together is what makes a good programmer. And that is what every day you should try to build. That is why these exercises exist. That is why these websites exist. They are not your enemy. They are your friend. They are here to save you from a service-based company and take you to a product-based company, right? This is the difference between getting a 3 lakh job and a 6 lakh job. Just one small solution like this in a coding round is what can double your salary. So all this is very, very important. So it is not that I will directly, I will only focus on learning Java. I will only focus on Python. I will only focus on front end. I will only focus on back end. No, become a developer. Become an all-rounder, right? Think about it. In cricket, if a batsman is not in form, he will be kicked out. If a bowler is not in form, he will be kicked out. But an all-rounder, if his batting is not good, at least he will be bowling. If his bowling is not good, at least he will be batting. If both is not good, he will be at least wicket keeping. He is always there. That is the beauty of being an all-rounder, right? So think about these things, and these are the things which every day you should be doing. Any confusion till this point of time? Okay. Now, if you've really understood this problem, I'll give you another similar problem and I want to see how many of you can actually give a solution for this. And I'm going to give you some time for you to think also. So watch it, all of you. Like this. This is the problem which we are going to do. So like this, I have a list, right? In this 3, 2, 5, 4, 1, I'm calling this as my list 1. What I want to do is, I'm showing you the expectation. I want to create another list called as list 2. Inside this list, I want the output to look like this. How do I want the output, if you ask me? I want like this, if I take 4 numbers and I multiply, see, I've ignored 3, 2 into 5 into 4 into 1, I've got 40, right? This should be placed here. Next, I will take another 4 numbers, multiply it. I will get the 60. 60 should be the second element. Next, I'll take 4 more values, multiply it. I'll get a value. That is what I'm going to be storing. So 24. Similarly, I'm going to take the next 4 values, multiply them. So I'll ignore 4, 3 into 2 into 5 into 1 I will do. I'll get 30. That should be the next element. Similarly, I will ignore 1, take all these other values, multiply them. What I will get in this case is 120, and that 120 should be in the last. So list 2 is the same as list 1, size wise, right? So here it is 3, here it is 40, here it is 60, here it is 24, here is 30, here it is 120. How are we going to do this? What could be the logic to do this? If you have understood this problem, this is the hint. This problem is the hint for this problem. Let me see how many of you can come up with a solution for this. Quickly think about it. Now, don't go and read your WhatsApp notifications. Product of list divided by max of list. So you're close, Vamshi. Think again a little bit. Product of all numbers corresponding to that. Yeah, that Neeraj, you're theoretically right, but think about the amount of code you will be writing. Every time will you be continuously picking all other elements, running another loop to find those elements. So think about in terms of efficiency also.
Multiply all values, then divide the product by ith value, store it in this.
Very good. So Aman, you're right. Good, Aman. Good job. Good.
Someone named Anonymous.
Anonymous. Okay.
Multiply all elements and divide by that element.
Good, Anonymous. Though I would love to call you by your name, you clearly don't want to be known, so it's fine. Max. Okay. All right. So now, most of you have got this solution. If you have not, just listen. It's very straightforward, very easy. Let me show you how you have to approach this solution. Very simple. The logic remains the same here. There is clearly all you have to notice is this is 3, 2, 5, 4, 1. These are the missing numbers. These missing numbers is nothing but whatever is there in this list. Or another way to say it is these is nothing but the I values. I is 3, I is 2, I is 5, I is 4, I is 1, right? Now, if in case I miss 3 and I multiply, I will get 40. If I include 3 and multiply, what will I get? I will get 120. And what is 120? 120 is nothing but the entire sum. I mean, the product of all the elements in my list. So watch it. If I just add that, if I use that also, then everywhere it will be 120, 120, 120, and 120. Any confusion till this point of time? So now 120 is there. I value is there. What if I do to 120 and I will I get this value? See, 120 divided by 3 is 40. 120 divided by 2 is 60. 120 divided by 5 is 24. 120 divided by 4 is 30. 120 divided by 1 is 120. Which means simple, run a loop on list 1. First only find the product and keep it ready. Take the product, divide it by the value of I, and that append it to list 2. And that is pretty much your solution. Any confusion till this point of time? So that's what I'm also showing. All this is nothing but I, 120 divided by I. So let's quickly write the solution for that. Most of you have got it right. I really appreciate it. Those of you who had a little bit problem. I hope it is crystal clear. Right. So first change that to 3, 2, 5, 4, 1. First, I want to find the product. So watch it. I'll just create a variable called as P for product. And initially, I will make it as 0. Because sum also, you remember, we made it as 0. Next, what I'm going to do is I'll run a for loop. So I will tell for I in list 1. First, I want to find the product. I'll put a colon. List LST1, you make it. LST1, there also LST1. I'll come inside, and now here what I want to do is I will just tell whatever is the value of P into whatever is the value of I. This should be my new product. So I will make it as P. I'll store it back inside P. Now we will continue the rest of the logic later. Tell me if I come outside and print P, think and answer, would I have got the product? Yes or no? What do you think? Yes or no? Yes? Those of you are saying yes are not thinking, because what is the initial value of P? 0. 0 into 3 is 0. 0 into 1 is 0. 0 into anything is 0. In other words, this is going to be 0 only. To prove to you, watch it. If I go back to my execution window and I put in the relevant command, and if in case I just execute this, clearly you can see 0 you have got. So sum you could initialize it to 0. Product you should never initialize it to 0. It should be 1, right? So I will go back and I will make that as 1. So I'll just go there and make that as 1. Any confusion till this point of time? Next, what you might ask? Next, what if you ask me? Now you have found out the product. Now, what you want to do is you want to now create another list called as list 2. So I'll come out, remove that print P. There I will just create LST2. Initially, it's an empty list. So open bracket, close bracket. Again, I will apply a for loop on list 1. So I will tell for I in LST1. Right? Then what I will do is I will come inside that. And what I will do is I will do product P divided by I. This is what I should append into LST2. So I will tell LST2 dot append like this. Any confusion till this point of time? I'll come outside the loop. I will print both list 1 and list 2. Crystal clear? Let's see whether it works. If I go back and I put in the relevant command, and if in case I press enter, then as you can see, 40.0, 60.0, 24.0, 30.0, 120.0. Why 0.0 is because of a concept called as typecasting. Whenever you divide in Python, automatically the value is converted into a decimal value so that precision is not lost. But doesn't matter. You have got your output. You have got it. You got all this crystal clear. And it will work for any value. Any confusion till here? So this is all there is to programming. First one is interest that you must have. Second one is an in-depth knowledge about a language that you should have. And third and most important is the practice, everyday practice. Think about it. Every day, 2 such problems if you solve. In a month, that is 60 problems, right? In a month, it is 60 problems. In just 3 months, around 180 odd problems you would have done. That's all it takes. When you begin, the journey might seem very large. But if you take it one day at a time, suddenly what seemed impossible seems possible. Again, so this is all I had to say from myself. And I can keep going on and on by picking problems, solving it. But unfortunately, time is not something which stops for anyone. We have also reached the end of this workshop. Now, don't start crying and have tears in your eyes. I'm just joking. I know all of you are glad, oh my God, finally workshop is done. Just for that one attendance link every day we used to come. Please give that attendance link, sir, we will go. Fine, that is good. Doesn't matter for what reason you came. Whether you stayed back for attendance or whether you stayed back out of interest, I'm sure each and every one of you has got something which you can take away from this workshop and better your career and better your life. And that has always and always been the mission and vision at what we do here at Rooman. Now, few things I would like to speak about. Number one is, we will be putting the link for your attendance in the chat. In that link, there is also an option. If some of you are looking for a complete placement guaranteed course on full stack web development, which teaches you everything from Java, core Java, advanced Java, J2EE, frameworks such as Springs and Hibernate, tools such as GitHub and GitLab, front-end technologies such as HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript in detail, Python, as well as back-end technologies such as SQL, and also a very, very hands-on project, right? And numerous such programming questions being solved. Then we at Rooman have a full stack web development course starting from the 15th of this month. It is going to be absolutely a online course, 100% online, because I think these 3 days was enough for you to get an idea that definitely online training can be as effective as any other training. And in fact, what makes this course very different from other courses is, we at Rooman, we are an NSDC partner. Being NSDC partners, we can provide something called as pay after the course. Yes, you heard me absolutely right. During the course, you don't have to pay a single rupee. You can learn for free. How does this work? Is this some kind of a scam? Because now Scam 1992 is the most famous show in India. So everything is, this word scam is being used everywhere. Or is there some substance to this? If you're curious about all of this, then in the form you would be filling today, there is an option called as yes, I'm interested in this course. For those of you who are interested, our team will be personally calling you, giving you all the details, and in fact giving you access to the 5 days free demo session starting from 15. From 15 till 20th, 5 days you can attend for free and experience a kind of training you have never experienced before for free, absolutely, for 5 days. And then definitely you can take a call. And most importantly, this is a course which comes with over 150 plus placement opportunities guaranteed for you. Just in the last 3 weeks, we have been able to conduct almost 27 order drives here at Rooman, right? But if you're interested, think about it. If not, doesn't matter. Most of you are interested in the certificate. I know that is what you want the most. My friend, now the certificate, 2 things you must remember. The certificate will be sent in batches. It will take around 3 to 5 days for the certificate to land into your inbox, because previously, when we tried to send multiple certificates like this, Google and its spam filters made the certificates go into the spam, spam of the inbox for many students, and they were not able to find the certificate. Because of this, in small batches, we will be sending the certificate so that it actually lands in your inbox. Please have patience with us. Not a single student who has attended our classes has not got the certificate. You will also get it. But it will take 3 to 5 days. Just have patience. Definitely it will reach you. All right. So don't worry about it. And again, the form will be posted in the chat now. You can please take a minute to fill it. Whatever you fill as the name, the same name will come in the certificate. Later, do not contact us and say my name is wrong, spelling is wrong. If you have typed it wrong, we cannot help you, right? Because it's automatically generated. So we cannot really control that. Go ahead, take 2 minutes and fill this. And any of you have any doubts about whatever I spoke, you want to know more about the course, etc., go to the co-host section in Zoom. All of our team members are there. Privately chat with them. I have something more amazing to show you for those of you who continuously keep inquiring, right, about this. See, I'll just go to give you a glimpse of how our classes are, right? So I'm just taking you to our learning management system that we have here at Rooman, right? So for example, these are the HTML classes. So they are designed in a way that, there is a video, there are quizzes, there are integrated coding labs, there are doubt discussion forums, a lot of it, right? So if in case I just open one of these videos just to show you what I'm talking about. So yeah, so these are how all of our, just play it, all of our classes happen here in Rooman, right? For every single concept, there is a high quality video lecture which is provided. Of course, I'm sorry about that. Don't think that it was a skeleton which is going to teach you. But the point I'm trying to make here is that each and every single concept is taught in a way which I'm trying to tell you that definitely you would have not seen these kind of classes when it comes to your online courses, and especially when it comes to coding courses, right? If I forward it a little bit more, as you can see, everything is done in a very practical manner where there is a lot of scroll somewhere in between. Yeah, everything is live coding with the output being shown to you. So it's very, very interactive way of learning, something that usually, people who teach coding have never thought about. And coding is the future. It is the sector which is growing most in the entire world. Most number of future jobs are also going to be coding jobs. In fact, people are trying to teach 6th standard kids coding. If you don't know all this, maybe your nephew, niece, who's just, in his 6th or 7th standard may also know CSS just as much as you know. That is how the world is rapidly changing. And you should also be changing with it, right? Anyways, so if you are curious about how these courses are conducted, just mention in the form. We will get back to you. Anyways, so I'll just remove this. My friend, I would just like to end this by saying thank you so much for attending this workshop. Again, with folded hands, I'm sorry if I could not live up to some of your expectations, right? I'm sorry if few things, you thought you would get this, but you did not get it. We tried our best. Hopefully, it had some positive impact in your life. And one final time before I wrap this up, if you truly from the bottom of your heart liked this workshop, then can you put a yes in the chat so that I know that our team and the effort that we have put is not for waste, and it definitely has helped you guys in some way, right? Great. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you, the students, the faculty members attending, and the very, very graceful and the very, very magnanimous colleges which has been able to give us this opportunity to interact with you guys. My name is Rohit. We are Rooman Technologies, and thank you so much for attending this workshop. Now, just give me 5 seconds. Let me get my phone, and I will allow you guys to unmute and ask me any question that you want, and I will certainly answer it. And for those of you who are leaving, I wish you all the very best, and I hope whatever you're dreaming and aspiring for is one day going to become a reality. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Take care.